One day the Joestar family had an accident. There was a man named Dio Brando who wanted to steal Joestar's belongings. But Joestar thought that Dio had saved him. Therefore he owed Dio a debt. A few years later the son of Joestar named Jonathan Joestar has become a teenager. He is usually called JoJo. He lives happily because he's rich. Elsewhere is shown a man named Dio Brando. He is the son of Dio Brando. One day Dio almost died. He told Dio to stay at Joestar's house, because Joestar had a debt with him. After his father died, Dio lived at Joestar's house. But he pretended to be a good person, because he wanted to dominate the Joestar family. He also often bullied JoJo. Because of that JoJo trained hard. But he still lost against Dio. This time it was shown that JoJo was close to a girl named Irina. But Dio was not happy with it. Because of that he bullied Irina to keep him away from JoJo. Hearing that, JoJo was very angry. He immediately attacked Dio. He even managed to injure Dio. But Dio did not accept it. He killed JoJo's dog for revenge. But a few years later, Dio became Joestar's adopted son. Because of that he became a good person. He started to be friends with JoJo. But JoJo did not trust Dio. This time it was shown that Joestar was sick. Then JoJo researched the stone mask at his house. Suddenly JoJo found a letter that he suspected that Dio wanted to kill his father by using poison. But he did not have any evidence. Then JoJo went to London to look for poison offers. There he met some criminals. He was able to defeat them easily. A criminal named Speedwagon was amazed to see JoJo. So he decided to help JoJo. Elsewhere is shown Dio fighting with several people. He finally realizes that the stone mask in his house has a secret power, returning to JoJo's place. He has obtained evidence that Dio wants to kill his father. That's why he came to arrest Dio along with the police. He fought with Dio. And he managed to defeat Dio. But Dio managed to kill Joestar. Because of that the police killed Dio. JoJo was very sad to see his father died. Suddenly Dio came back to life. He killed the police. It turned out that Dio used the power of a stone mask to make himself immortal. Everyone in the place was scared to see power of Dio. But JoJo still fought him. Because he wanted revenge for his father's death. They fought seriously. JoJo made several traps to fight Dio. He managed to set Dio on fire. And Dio finally died. JoJo won this battle. But he was seriously injured. Irina and Speedwagon took care of JoJo. When JoJo recovered, he returned to his house which had been destroyed by the fight against Dio. Suddenly a man named Zeppeli attacked JoJo. It turned out that Zeppeli's attack made JoJo's body stronger. Zeppeli said if it was a technique called Hammon. That technique could make a person very strong. Zeppeli said if he would teach JoJo how using Hammon, so that JoJo can defeat Dio. Because Dio is still alive. JoJo is very surprised to know that Dio is still alive. Zeppeli also say that people who use stone masks can only be defeated by using the power of Hammon. And now Zeppeli is training JoJo so he can use Hammon's powers. Zeppeli tells that his friends were killed by people who used the power of the stone mask. That's why he wants revenge. The scene shows that Dio is still alive. And now he is gathering strength to defeat JoJo. A few days later JoJo, Zeppeli and Speedwagon started their adventure. Zeppeli told JoJo to fight against criminals using Hammon's power. At first he had trouble doing it. But finally he managed to use Hamon's power. After that, Zeppeli took JoJo to a city to train Hamon's strength. Suddenly there was a child who stole their bag. JoJo used Hamon's power to catch the child. He was named Poco. Suddenly the sky became dark. And a zombie appeared in their place. The zombie named Tarkus and Brufford. JoJo and Zeppeli fought against them. Dio suddenly appeared in that place. It turned out that the zombie was controlled by Dio. Zeppeli tried to kill Dio. But Dio was too strong. He was able to make Zeppeli seriously injured. While JoJo fought against Tarkus. JoJo was stronger than Tarkus. Because of that, Tarkus made JoJo fight in the water. So that JoJo could not use his power. Because to use Hamon was need oxygen. Luckily JoJo managed to find oxygen in the water. And he managed to defeat Tarkus. It turned out that Tarkus had not died. And they were back fighting on the mainland. JoJo used all his strength. He finally managed to defeat Tarkus. But before Tarkus died, he gave his sword to JoJo. Because he believed that JoJo was a good person and would become a great knight. Brufford suddenly attacked JoJo. But JoJo did not have the strength to fight. Because he was exhausted after fighting Tarkus. JoJo and his friends fled. But Brufford chased after them. He locked JoJo in a room. And he wanted to kill JoJo. Zeppeli and the others couldn't get into that place. Poco saw a gap in the room. The gap was too small and only children could enter. But Poco didn't want to go in there. Because he was afraid of Brufford. Poco finally forced his way into the gap. Because he thought that this was the only way to save the world. And he managed to open the door of the room. Zeppeli fought against Brufford. He managed to save JoJo, but Brufford was very strong. He cut Zeppeli's body. And Zeppeli almost died. Before he died, he gave all his strength to JoJo. After getting that power, JoJo became very strong. He was able to defeat Brufford easily. After that fight, Zeppeli finally died peacefully. He passed his will to JoJo. And now JoJo, Speedwagon and Poco continue their journey. There is a zombie attack them. And JoJo managed to defeat the zombie easily. Then they meet a person who uses Hamon's power named Dyer and Straits. They are Zeppeli's friends. There is also their teacher named Tompity. They come to help Zeppeli against Dio. JoJo said that if Zeppeli had died. They were very sad to hear that. And they were determined to kill Dio. Then they heard the news that Poco's sister was kidnapped by Dio. So they all went to Dio's place. JoJo managed to defeat the zombies who wanted to kill Poco's sister easily. Zeppeli's friends were very surprised to see JoJo's strength. Because now JoJo is much stronger than Zeppeli. Dio finally appeared at their place. Dyer was very angry to see Dio. He immediately attacked Dio alone. But Dio had the power to freeze someone. And he killed Dyer with that power. But Dyer was able to injure Dio before he died. Because of that, Dio wanted to run away. He summoned a group of zombies to fight. Straits and Tompity fought the zombies. While JoJo fought against Dio. He used Tarsus' sword. He managed to cut Dio. But Dio wasn't dead yet. He made JoJo's hand freeze. JoJo burned his hand. So his hand wouldn't freeze. He used all his strength. And finally he managed to defeat Dio. A few months later JoJo married Irina. JoJo and his friends' adventure against Dio is finally over. And JoJo will now go on vacation with Irina. JoJo was very happy because he could finally live in peace. But suddenly JoJo had a bad feeling. JoJo tried to investigate the place. It turned out that there was someone who brought Dio's head in that place. He wanted to revive Dio. JoJo fought with that person. It turned out that he had turned many ship passengers into zombies. Because of that, JoJo could not seriously fight. And finally JoJo managed to beat the man. But their ship caught fire. JoJo told Irina to escape along with a baby who managed to survive. While JoJo brought Dio's head. So that Dio could really die this time. And finally the ship exploded. JoJo and Dio were killed by the explosion. Meanwhile, Irina managed to escape with the baby. The adventure of Jonathan Joestar and his friends to defeat Dio is finally over. Thanks for watching this video.